I am here with my good friend and colleague, Angela Guess, and she's a paralegal of 35 years. And I wanted to ask her a question, for our paralegal educator community. And I'm curious, Angela, what do you wish more paralegal programs included in their curriculum to better prepare students for the current legal environment?
I think because the current legal environment changes so quickly, and it's changed in my career, it would take days to explain all the changes that have occurred since I started. But I think that the biggest thing is for paralegal programs, if they would be more kind of open to have active paralegals from like local paralegal associations, kind of, because we love student members. We love to mentor. We love to, that's one of my favorite things to do, is to mentor new paralegals and to have them come in and maybe guest speak so they can know what really it's like to be in the down and dirty of a law firm.
Right.
Because learning a lot of the stuff is one thing, but actually learning how to apply it and do the day-to-day and deal with the different personalities and the different trials and kind of what your role is as a paralegal would be a big benefit, I think, to a lot of the students.
Yeah.
And it would be, and it encourages back to paralegals that are doing it. It gives them encouragement and kind of gives them a new reignited joy for the profession.
Right, indeed. And I do agree with that. That mentorship thing is huge.
Yes.
It is huge. But I also wonder, because how Angela and I met, is through the Paralegal Association world.
Yes.
And I know that you are very much a supporter of having paralegal associations partner with local schools,
yes,
right? And I just wanted to hear a little bit of your thoughts on that.
Over my long career, I've had associations that are really good with doing that. And so I've been ones where we had a strong connection. We actually had like seminars at the school. We did like quarterly talks in the classroom that we scheduled for the whole year. They'd have us come out and talk like a lot. And then I've had ones where and over the years, when there's a transition with the program, sometimes more are willing than not willing. And I've just seen such a huge benefit. It's a growth in the association because the students become members at student level, become in leadership. They just grow with the association, and they grow as professionals.
And so I hear that the professional skills are being developed.
Yes,
right.
Definitely.
When you connect with that paralegal association, the practitioners with the early learners,
yes,
the learners, right?
Because I was an odd one. My boss actually was the one that kept pushing me to join NALA.
Wow.
Which is very that's not the norm of the way to get involved. And since that, I've been a member of NALA for 25 years, and I've been in various leadership positions that I've done because I've got, they were each stepping stones to other things.
And I think that's something that's important for students to hear in terms of their own professional development and career development.
Correct. Yes, correct. Definitely.
Well, thanks, Angela, so much. I'm so glad that you're here with us at NALACON 25.
Yes,
and woo! We still have 2 more days of conference.
We do.
So we'll hopefully see you all again here soon, and next year in 2026 in Denver, Colorado. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kelly Radnathy, and I'm here with Jen Salisbury. Jen, would you tell us a little bit about yourself today?
So I'm a certified paralegal. I was certified in 2013, and I'm also a member of NALA. I'm here at NALACON 2025 with Kelly. I was a litigation paralegal for over 13 years, and I just transitioned in January to program coordinator at Truckee Meadows Community College for the paralegal law program, which is actually the only one in the state of Nevada that's approved by the ABA.
So interesting, Jen. Jen and I actually served together on the board for Sierra Nevada Association of Paralegals, like she mentioned. So it's really interesting talking to you because Jen brings this real-world experience into the classroom. So Jen, how has your work as a practicing paralegal impacted your approach to teaching?
So the main way that it has impacted the way that I teach is similar to the way I was taught, because I am actually a graduate of the program that I now lead, which is kind of cool. My students appreciate that, because I always start out by telling them, I was once where you are now. I was sitting in your seat. Not virtual, because we didn't have virtual then, but I look at it in the way that I was taught. And one of the best instructors I had when I was in the program was a certified paralegal. And the thing that she did, which is what I try to incorporate, is I'm not just teaching legal concepts and I'm not just teaching them about the law, but I'm teaching them about the practicalities of what they're doing. So I can give them examples, general examples of cases that I worked on, issues that I had to deal with. So then it's more than just reading the words on a textbook page or, researching a case. They get to understand how it applies to something that they're actually going to do when they're in the workforce.
Wow, that must be so useful for the students. I mean, really giving them that practical skill set.
Yeah.
So how do you really balance that legal concepts, the foundational legal concepts, with also preparing the learners with this evolving technologies that we're facing?
It's a good question. So I follow numerous blogs to stay up to date, because I was that way when I was a litigation paralegal. It was kind of my job to research what type of software or services that were available for various vendors. And so I still do that. And so when I discover something new, I share it with the students in that manner. I'll say, this is something new. We're talking about AI. Describe AI. If you don't know what that is, it's a great website. It's a nonprofit that was formed in Boston. And it basically gives you it's a plain word search of a case, and it gives you the Cliff Note summary of a case. And it also has it in Spanish. And so you can then take that, it shortens the time to research, and then you can go and actually go into your Westlaw, go into your fast case and read the case. But it's going to narrow your search time, because it's going to, like I said, it's going to give you the short version, right? The down and dirty details of the case. So that's just kind of an example. I share them the knowledge that I learn. And I also like to bring professionals into the classroom. I bring attorneys in, I bring trial tech people that come into my civil evidence class and talk to them and demonstrate to them how we use this technology and how it's going to change the work that they're doing.
Wow, real world skills.
Yes.
That's really what we need.
Yeah.
Thanks,
exactly.
Jen. That was
You're
so
welcome.
awesome.
Thank you.
All right.
Back again from NALACON 25, and with me I have our immediate past president of AFP, Paige Beadham. Welcome, Paige.
Thank you so much. It's always so good to see you, and so much fun to sit down and talk with you.
That's so wonderful to see you here, and our current president, Chris Simcox. I just wanted to get your perspective on the importance of attending these types of industry events for paralegal educators.
This is the reason, right? I just said it's so good to see you. And it is. It's so good to make connections. And I've made so many new connections here. And it's people that I didn't expect. It's people that, a process server. Well, you know what? We are completely connected. The legal community is so broad and so tight at the same time. And so every time you come and you start to make those connections, it breeds excitement about the profession. It reminds us how important it is, and it just rejuvenates you. And so it's so much fun to do this. And I have to say, I do love doing it in person too. I love it online. There's no question. But I love doing it in person. And it just, those connections are what make us, it refuels me, and what makes our whole profession stronger.
Well, we thank you, obviously, as one of the co-hosts for Legal Luminaries, the paralegal edition from AFP.
Yeah.
We're so thrilled that you're here and for your presence. So
Thank you so much. Keep doing great stuff.
Thanks. Hi, this is Christine Custodio Suero, live from NALACON 25. I'm here with my good friend, Mike Harris of Brightline Counsel.
Hey, everybody, this is Mike Harris here at Brightline Counsel. We are having a phenomenal time here in Atlantic City. We're at NALA's 2025 conference for the 50th anniversary, and we are having a magnificent time. There's lots of learning going on. There's lots of networking going on. And I will say this is one of the most engaged conferences I've ever been to. So if you missed it this year, you definitely should come next year. 2026 is going to be in where?
Denver, Colorado. We'll see you there.
We'll see you in Denver.
Hi, I'm Kelly, and I'm here with Kayla. Kayla, would you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, Kelly. Yes, I am Kayla Galeros. I am an adjunct professor at St. Petersburg College in Florida, teaching law office practice and technology.
Awesome. So I also teach law office procedures and technology, so kind of cool that we parallel lanes there. So I wanted to talk about some resources.
Yeah.
In your scope of work, what resources do you really sort of highlight or emphasize with your students when you're teaching them?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing from my perspective as a paralegal teaching other paralegals is the practical resources that we can provide. So one of my biggest things I start with in my semester is our syllabus. It's based in a case management order so that they can learn what that looks like right from the beginning. Their very first assignment is to be able to go through my entire course and the syllabus and figure out what are all the actual deadlines of the course. And they have to complete a case scheduling order.
Wow.
So something, yeah, a lot of work to put on people the first week of class.
But so practical.
But so practical. And it's not a graded assignment. It's just get you familiar with it, get you understanding what does a case management order mean? Because for those of us in litigation, that is the Bible,
Right?
that we have to know what that is and understand how to read it. So one of those is like my easiest practical assignment. Another one is understanding how to budget in a law firm because, we have to be able to budget both for the firm, both for cases itself, trial even. So they do an in-class budget together where they learn what are all the different aspects of budgeting in a law firm. Why do I need to know the realization of billable hours to what we're actually going to collect? Things like that. So those are some really practical assignments that I have.
Wow. Like valuable skills.
Yes.
Like you're building these future paralegals to be really valuable, both in paralegal work, but also in all these other areas, these skill sets that we're seeing paralegals going into, legal operations, right?
I want them to be able to take those skills and use them the next day in their law office. Like that's my goal. If they work in a law office, come to my class, use it the next day. Like actual practical skills.
Right.
Yeah.
And not fumbling around in it. Because
Right.
they get to fumble around in it with you.
Yes.
Right.
I'd rather you fumble with me.
Exactly.
In a safe space.
Yeah, it's like that e-filing thing when it's like, okay, hit submit, and you're
Yes.
like, do it. I can't. I don't want to hit it when you're reading
Right. Yeah.
right? Well, so talking about e-filing, being sort of, I wouldn't say it's a modern legal tool because it's been
Around
around.
a few minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when we talk about that as a tool, and a resource that we need to teach to somebody, how do you really incorporate that modernization into your curriculum?
Yeah, so that's a tough one. In Florida, our state has not given us like a case that we can just file in for students so that they can learn how to e-file and play around with it. So every semester I go through an entire like e-filing seminar, step by step of what do you need in order to e-file in the state of Florida. In Florida specifically, and I'm not sure how all the other states work, but we have to file in PDF-A format. So we want to make sure we understand how do you use Adobe? How do you get everything manipulated to where you want it in that PDF-A format before you even e-file it? So we go through that. We go through what are the steps of e-filing, what should you and shouldn't you file versus serve.
Yeah.
There's that. And then we actually live e-file something that night, step by step, so that the students can see, okay, this is what it looks like to e-file something. And thankfully, we have attorneys who are willing to say, hey, I'll hold this for you to live e-file that night in class so that you can use that as an example.
I mean, and that also exemplifies some other things I think that's really important to teach the students, right? The practice of law is a team sport, right?
Yes.
Like it takes the whole team
Yes.
to do it. And so, so then when we look at that idea in the practice of law, and we look at paralegal programs, what could we include in the curriculum for paralegal programs that is going to better prepare our students for this more modern legal setting that they're going into?
More paralegals. That's what we should include. We should include more paralegals, both as educators and from gathering their perspectives, right? We want to know, the majority of people teaching in paralegal programs are attorneys, judges, attorneys. They may not be involved in that practicality of every day that the paralegals are. So grab the paralegals, the legal secretaries, the legal assistants. What are they doing from day to day? We need to hear from them more to see what are the things that we should be incorporating, both in classes like yours and mine, but then in, contracts, in criminal, in bankruptcy. What is it like from that paralegal's perspective? What's their day-to-day?
Absolutely.
Those are really great resources.
It's like the paralegal's perspective. It matters, right? And if you're teaching a paralegal, what better way than to teach them through the paralegal perspective?
Exactly.
So I love it.
Yeah.
Kayla, thanks for talking with me today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad you were here. All right. Hi, I'm Kelly, and I'm here with Dina. Dina, would you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Dina Waters. I am the program director of the Paralegal Studies program at University of Alaska Fairbanks. I actually started 20 years ago as an adjunct. When our program director retired, they wrote the job description just for me so I could take over the program. So I've been there for 10 years now, and I absolutely love teaching.
Yes, I can. I think you just have that quality about you. You attract people to you. So I love that. You're magnetic. So are there any sort of strategies or specific materials that you feel are resources for you that you'd like to share with other paralegal educators?
One thing I've found that the students really respond to is having guest speakers. And that is so doable now that everything is online and we have Zoom and Teams. In fact, I had Kelly and Christine talk to my ethics class about, what's happening in the legal profession, where things are moving. And I think they really enjoyed it and they responded very well to it.
So when we're thinking of that, wanting to hear more of that paralegal perspective and sort of, how what we go through on a day-to-day basis, how can our paralegal programs really start incorporating more of that for the students?
Yeah. Just have a guest speaker come in and talk about a topic. If you're teaching civil litigation, have a trial paralegal come in and say, "This is what I do during trial." There's so many ways that we can incorporate outside perspectives into our classrooms. And AFB and NALA are both starting speaker bureaus so that educators can have those resources in their local area.
Oh, it's so beneficial. Because as you know, as a legal educator, sometimes our resources are a little thin.
Yes.
And so I love that you're such an advocate for sharing those resources. So are there any other resources that you really lean on as a paralegal educator to really expand your skill set?
Definitely things that I learned from NALA and the connections that I make at NALA, and also with AFB. We are updating the electronic resource library, or EARL 2.0. So there's a wide variety of model syllabi, assignments, projects that the students can do in the EARL right now.
EARL 2.0.
Yep.
Who knew? All right. Well, thank you so much, Dina. It was a pleasure chatting with you today.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
All right, so wrapping it up from day one here in Atlantic City. It's so bright and energetic right now. I'm just so excited. Christine, how are you feeling?
I am super excited as well. We have a little networking event to attend after this, but it has been so much fun to record live from NALACON 25, like Kelly said, here in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And we are off to a great start. And day 2, here we come. 2 more days.
Come. Yay! Yeah, NALA.
Yay, AFB.
Yes, AFB. And the Legal Luminaries. We had so much fun today talking with some of our paralegal educator colleagues. We can't wait to share with you what we had as paralegal perspectives coming out. So,
and again, a big thank you to Brightline Council for hosting us today for this special live recording from NALACON 25.
See you tomorrow.
I am live here from NALACON 25 with the NALA CEO, Vinny Finley, and with someone who participated on the National Paralegal Day Committee, Laura Reeves out of Alabama. And so I wanted to chat with Vinny and Laura about what was NALA's participation in this summit that talked about this National Paralegal Day and actually got it across the line. So Vinny, do you want to give us a little bit of the story?
Absolutely. I'd love to share a little bit about that. So as you heard, we have been involved in a group we call The Summit, and it brings together the various paralegal associations so that we can talk together and figure out how we together can support paralegals better. There's zero competition. We have there's plenty of paralegals to help, so we all work together so that we can do the best for paralegals. And one of the things that we've been talking about, as you heard Chris talk about, was that we do not have a National Paralegal Day. We have all these states that have their days, and some cities have their days. And in fact, some people think October 23rd is officially the National Paralegal Day, but that was Texas's Paralegal Day, and it got swept up as the national on some websites. But when we did further research, that is truly just for Texas. And so we thought we really do need to have one for paralegals that's national. And so, of course, we're like, okay, what's a good date? We don't want one that's like one of our anniversaries or something that references one of the associations over the other. And so we realized that on August 6th, we asked the ABA that on August 6th was the day in 1968 that they actually formed the standing committee that became the Standing Committee for Paralegals.
Wow.
And so that's the first day that the ABA was doing some level of true recognition of what we now are as paralegals. So we thought that was a pretty universal date. I don't think anybody can be worked up about August 6th. And so our group really felt like that was probably our best date to start pushing forward. So we've had our meetings, and what we ended up doing was making that strong case for a National Paralegal Day. And we were fortunate enough to have Representative Kevin Hearn from Oklahoma read into the congressional record on August 6, 2024, the first official National Paralegal Day, so as recognized by Congress. And so this year, 2025, is really the first one that we're going to be celebrating, because the one in 2024 last year was really just identifying
To establish it.
Mm-hmm. And now we're all ready to celebrate in 2025 and all the years to come.
That is so wonderful. And can you remind me again, who were the organizations that were part of this summit?
Absolutely. So NALA is one of them, and AFP, and NIFPA, National Federation for Paralegal Associations, and NALS, the National Association for Legal Support Professionals. And I didn't spell out AFP, but this is an AFP broadcast, right? So I think everybody knows. I think everybody knows what AFP is.
Yeah.
So our four groups, we are the largest organization supporting paralegals or paralegal educators. So it just made a lot of sense for us to come together and make this work for our members.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. And Laura, I'm just interested to hear kind of your experience and what happened in this whole process. Could you share a bit?
Sure. I am a member of the Professional Development Committee with NALA, and I've learned so much through that committee. I was a part of the National Paralegal Day Task Force, and I believe that effort started long before I got on the PDC. But we did a lot of research with getting the background on the different dates. We, researched all of the bar associations for every state and
every single one,
which ones had a paralegal day that was state recognized, and we tried to, those were kind of all over the board, and some didn't have one. So that is what led us to the August 6th date. We just felt that was the best, and so it went from there, and it's great. I mean, paralegals play such a crucial role in the legal field, and we're thankful for everything that's happened so far.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And I'm sure NALA has some exciting celebrations coming up for August 6th.
So we're NALA is headquartered in Tulsa, Oklahoma, as many of you know. And so we're starting this first celebration in Tulsa. So we are having a celebration in Tulsa. We're not expecting people to fly in or anything. It's just for the Tulsa people area. But we are reaching out to the attorneys, firms, and other groups to join us on August 6th, a place called Guthrie Green. It's an outdoor area in Tulsa. It's a historic area, and we're bringing in some food trucks, and we've got some sponsors and some vendors, and we're going to have some cornhole games and things like that just during the lunch hours. So from 11 to 2, so that people can come and have lunch and celebrate how awesome paralegals are.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
This is so amazing. Thank you so much. See, one of the the focus of Kelly and myself being here at NALACON 25 as paralegal educators who are paralegals is to just highlight the importance and amplify the importance of attending industry events to access resources, to access, professional development opportunities. And, it's really a pleasure to be able to share this with our paralegal educator community who listens to the podcast.
Absolutely. And tell all your students about it.
Yes, absolutely. So if they want to find more information and resources for NALA,
so NALA.org, NALA.org is where you will find information about all things NALA. And there is, under paralegal info, there is a tab that's for National Paralegal Day.
Awesome. And I think there's also a webpage for paralegal educators, and there are resources there. And I know that you've been working with AFP to be able to share resources with the AFP community. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And
Thank
happy
you.
Paralegal Day.
August 6th.
All right. We're back at day 2, NALACON 25, and Paige Beadham, our past president of AFP, is here, joining our current AFP president, Chris Simcox. And I kind of wanted to check in with you all because we had a booth here, right, at the expo hall. And I wanted to talk to you all about what was the idea of that and having a booth at NALACON's 50th anniversary conference.
So, we're talking about National Paralegal Day, and it's so exciting. The things that all of our organizations have been doing, we have truly focused on really promoting the profession.
Right.
So how do we do that? We don't need to have these barriers. We don't need to have silos. We want to be supporting each other as much as we can to promote the profession.
Mm-hmm.
So we said, okay, how can we do that? And one of the things was, let's go to this conference. And one of the reason why we had a booth at this conference was so many people who are paralegals are saying, hey, I want to share my expertise. And we love the expertise of actual practicing paralegals coming into the classroom. Our students need to hear that. We need to understand that. And this was a great way to talk with practicing paralegals to say, are you interested in teaching? And so many people came along, and we had great conversations about different things and learned a lot of ideas from people that we talked with here about ways that AFB can truly help promote the profession by working hand in hand with partners like NALA and NIFBA, ABA, all of us working together make all of us better.
Right, and we were just having a conversation with the other organizations, NALA and NIFBA, about National Paralegal Day, just a way to collaborate with each other. And like you said, to not silo each other and kind of bring down any barriers.
Absolutely.
So Chris, what are your thoughts with regard to the booth that we had? Are you, I know that you were sitting at the booth with Paige. I passed by and I saw you. And so what were some of the comments or conversations?
Well, the other thing too that I think Paige was talking about that it's like a second piece to this is when we first started talking about having a table, I think I was a little like, I'm not sure where the connection is. Like, I don't know what we would do. She came up with that idea of that, and it made a lot of sense. And as I was talking to people, I started talking about the Speakers Bureau, which is a list that we started not too long ago. And we were thinking about like who has expertise in intellectual property or immigration law, and amongst our members that could be used as like guest speakers in other people's classes. Well, hey, who's better than a paralegal who does it, in their law office? So we, Paige had said to them, hey, sign up and, we'll put you on that list too, if you're interested in doing like a guest speaker thing. And, it's just going to be so good for our students to hear from lots of different ways. Because a lot of times, depending on your state, you're required to be a JD and you're required to be an attorney to teach. And we've talked about that a lot of times. Like, I don't know if that's the best person to teach. Both of us have something to offer. So why not co-teach like that? I think that's an awesome way of sharing that. So I think we got a lot of good information, a lot of people that were interested that thought that's a really cool way to accentuate what they do in the office or their environment every day. And so I really have been pleased with us coming out here. I think it was a great idea.
Excellent, excellent. I'm so glad that our listeners, and our colleagues at AFP will have that opportunity to kind of check out what's going on here at NALACON and see why it's so important to attend these industry events and to connect, collaborate, and build that community. And, like you just said, it's brilliant to think about the co-teaching with attorney and paralegal, because that's how we actually exist in the law firm, in the legal ecosystem. We work collaboratively.
Yeah.
So that's really, really smart. But thanks so much for sharing and for being here. And we hope you enjoy the rest of your time at NALACON 25.
Thank
you
you
so much.
Thanks.
Hi, this is Christine Custodio Suero, live at NALACON 25 Day 2. I'm here again with our AFP president, Chris Simcox. And today we are asking our Paralegal Association leaders about National Paralegal Day. And so we wanted to start with Lori Wagner of the National Federation of Paralegal Associations, also known as NIFPA. So welcome, Lori.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And I actually wanted to start with Chris and get a little bit of the backstory, since Chris is our AFP president and kind of was part of that spearheading of this.
Well, it wasn't. Let's just be clear. There wasn't a spearhead. What was interesting about it is that we have also another group called the Summit, which is all of our organizations. And we got together and we came up with thinking that this National Paralegal Day would be a great thing. And I know that you're going to talk later to Vinny from NALA and Lauren from NALA, so they can fill you in on that too. But we all kind of got together and thought the four of us sponsoring, the four different groups sponsoring this would be a great type of a collaboration, right? So we have a lot of different paralegal days. If you haven't noticed, there's a lot of different dates, right? So state to state, they have they have paralegal days in their state. We wanted to get something that was national, so that was across the board. So August 6th is that day. We're really super excited, and we've been trying to push for it. AFB had a logo contest, so we put it out there to our students. Our members are colleges and universities, and so they have the access to students. And so we said, get us a logo, come up with one, draft one. And so we've got a really cool logo that we all selected from one of our student submissions. So we've been using that as advertisement on LinkedIn and other places. So we're really just trying to push that we have this recognition of this National Paralegal Day. It's our way of thanking the paralegals for all that they do and making sure that they're celebrated. So the hope is that, there's a lot of different, and for our members, we have a lot of different schools. The hope is that they have a lot of different events. I know NALA's is also having a lot of events, and NIFPA's having events, so Lori can talk about her events. But it's just a way of us all just jointly celebrating paralegals.
Thank you so much, Chris. And Lori, did you want to just kind of share a little bit about NIFPA and background and involvement?
Yeah, so NFPA has also been involved in the summit and with the Paralegal Day arrangements. And so we put a call out to all of our associations, and we're still gathering some of the information, but we have paralegal associations in Wisconsin and Minnesota who are going to have Paralegal Day. They have some events set up, and I'm putting together a list so that we can send it out to everybody, so that if you happen to be in that state, then you can certainly join along. We have the Paralegal Association of Central Ohio, which is in Columbus, Ohio. They're having a night out at the ball game to celebrate. They're going to have Paralegal Day on the big Jumbotron. Fort Wayne, Indiana is having a social night out, kind of like a little cocktail hour. So we have several associations. And like I said, I'm still gathering the list, but we have several associations throughout the U.S. that's going to be celebrating, so that if there's other students or other paralegals in the area, they can join in with us.
Fantastic. And what is your website for NIFPA so that folks can check out that information and other resources?
So it is paralegals.org.
So paralegals, plural.org.
Yes, PARALEGALS.org.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We appreciate your support and enthusiasm and being part of this amazing, amazing opportunity to have this National Paralegal Day celebration on August 6th.
We're very excited about it.
All right. Any final thoughts, Chris, on this?
No, I think you're going to hear about a lot of other things and good events that are coming as
as we get closer. I know it's like only a very short time away. So we're hoping to get more and more people out and setting up events. And then next year, we know we have a starting point, so we can just keep building on this. That's what we're hoping to do.
That's awesome. All right. Thanks so much, Lori.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye-bye.